today's activity. But before that, I have a newspaper in my hand. If you don't have access to a physical copy, I'll tell you what is to be done. But before that, I have a question. Just try to answer this question because this is something that was put forth by many people. Is it the youth is or the youth are? Which is right? Youth is or youth are? Well, I have seen both the usages in most of the books and many documentaries. You can take a couple of seconds and let me know whether it is youth is or youth are. Your time starts now. And yes, I have an activity ready for you. You can do this with any article, any newspaper, but still I'll give you the method. So welcome to another video on my channel. My name is Rose Matthew and I'm a trainer, but still I'm also learning certain things when it comes to learning, teaching. You need to understand that both the usages are right. When you treat youth as singular, if you're referring to just individuals, it is the youth is. I'm sure that you know about this, but still there were some beginners and some intermediate learners asking me the question because it is seen that way in different stories, or they would have come across this through different books. Suppose you are referring to the collective youth, collective noun, then it can be the youth are. Now I have this particular title and that is why I thought of asking you this question. India's youth are doing what their parents wouldn't. What is that? Solving personal and mental struggles openly online. Now you may think this is something that is not correct. Solving mental problems and issues openly online. Of course, there are advantages and disadvantages. This is an article from the New Sunday Express. And look at this picture. If you're into doodling, you can try this out. Now, what is this article all about? If you don't have access to physical copies, you can do this. And that is what I'm going to give you instructions on that. You just have to type this prompt. You can pause and type this one. Type it on ChatGPT or Google AI, whichever is comfortable for you. And look at the number of recommendations given here. I just clicked on the times now. You can select the article of your choice and do the activity. Now, suppose you have a newspaper. You don't have to look for the best articles. You don't have to look for the best language. Most of the newspaper articles may not be practically understood by learners, but still you can make use of. Now look at this particular article. It is not very difficult. It has got some difficult words and it has got very easy sentences that can be understood by both the beginners and the intermediates. So I've just taken something that is relatable to most of you, and these kind of discussions come on Instagram, YouTube, and maybe you would have also heard about this. Okay, look at this. That is, for many today, mental health isn't just private. If you want, you can read along with me and practice shadowing. I've already done 2 videos on shadowing. It's public. What is public? It's discussing about the mental issues and problems openly, okay, in public. It's public, it's performative, and yes, profitable. Of course, it's part of business, as you know. Performative means something that can be expressed openly. And in certain places, it becomes a showcase in a negative way, but I'm speaking about people who really need help. This is what I do before beginning the activity. You can just underline the words in the article. Just take 10 or 15 minutes for that. It's easier. At times when you ask for suggestions, when you ask for advice, you may not get the right answer, and sometimes you may not feel like approaching counselors. You may not feel like going for professional help. I would recommend professional help because they will know. They can give you an objective perspective of the problem and they can discuss many things with you. But suppose you don't have access to such people, what really happens? Discussions happen online. Now look at this. Social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube are now flooded with short, relatable clips. Anxiety confessions, coping hacks, morning mindfulness routines, and real talk about therapy. What was once private has become content, shareable, relatable, and endlessly scrollable. So today, we have too much content on YouTube and many social media platforms. You cannot say that everybody is not authentic or they cannot be relied upon. Some of them are really genuine. Even when you're learning English, you may come across several platforms. Even I have come across several platforms on YouTube and Instagram. Some of the learners tell me that the platforms are not genuine, whereas there are individuals, there are tutors, there are platforms, and even coaching centers that really help people. So, just like that, just like such kind of platforms, we have open discussions on mental issues and concerns. There also, you have to filter. See, whether it's an offline or online platform, we have to be very careful. We should be very cautious. If it's an offline platform, you can directly go to the place, have a kind of open talk, interact. But otherwise, also, there are certain things that you have to do. I've already done 2 videos on this. Please go back and find out how to assess, analyze the platforms. Life is becoming too vulnerable. So when it's vulnerable, we have to be careful about what we share on public platforms. It's all relatable, shareable. Look at the words used here, relatable, shareable. There are confessions. There are hacks also that actually help you overcome anxiety, fear. Now, you may think, why am I discussing all these things? Have you read the objectives of this channel? It's not just language skills. It is mental health. It's about mental therapy, because I've written a lot of articles on this. And generally people say, I'm not able to speak English because of grammar, because of not going or not having access to English medium schools. That's not the problem. Many people face problems with speech, but it's also because they have some kind of fear at the back of the mind. And that there are different reasons for that. Some may fumble because they don't get the words. At times you may get the words, but you may have some kind of fear that requires open surgery. What is the meaning of open surgery? Without shedding a drop of blood. There are people who can really work on your mind in a positive way with a lot of hope. Okay, so I've also been through such phases in life where I knew English, or maybe I would have been equipped with the language skills, but I didn't know how to put it across the table to the professor or to my colleagues or to people who were working with me or even studying with me, my classmates. But they will be very clear with their speech. The minute somebody asks a question, they will have the confidence to say, no, sir, I don't know the answer, or maybe I'll update. But there can be other people who may not know how to word it. Yeah, so that's connected to language and also inhibition, fear. So when I say mental issues, it's not about psychiatry. It's not about always taking medicines. It may not require even medical, clinical assistance or guidance, but sometimes therapy is important. Counseling is important, especially post-COVID phase recommended this. Okay, so everything is available online, and they have given the ways in which you can put forth your problems. By being open about their struggles, the youth is building communities where vulnerability is celebrated, stigma is challenged, and connection is currency. So you know the meaning of currency. It's something that you gain, wealth. So connecting, forming network, people who are like-minded can really help you. It's not about talking to the wrong person. Today, people go to the wrong people, wrong group. You could be surrounded by wrong people that can make the problems worse. So it's all about connecting. It's all about challenging the stigma, and also it's also about vulnerability. Mental health conversations now double as a social glue, turning followers into friends and clicks into conversations. It's all about the way it is promoted, the way it is marketed. Self-care brands, wellness apps, mental health merch, and online courses are tapping into this wave, showing that emotional honesty can fuel both influence and income. Authenticity, it seems, sells. So if something is authentic, it sells. Because people know how to analyze today. Now you're into language learning, you know how to analyze. It has been happening for a very long time. Okay, so there are words like currency. It's used in a different way. Did you notice that? Connection becomes currency. I've put the meaning here. Generally, we use currency to speak about something that is valuable, something that can buy you things, money, right? Here, currency means you gain something, it is profitable. Even if it's not profitable connections can gain something, helping you to move forward. So look at the way they have worded mental health conversations now double as a social glue. Yes, we all get hooked to the social media. Yeah, sometimes I also feel that I am glued, hooked to the screen. The screen time is more than what I really want. But the days end that way. The only person who is in control is you and me. We know where we have to stop, right? So it can become a social glue, but here it is in the positive way. That is, it doubles as a social glue, turning followers into friends and clicks into conversations. You have to be cautious. The underlying meaning is that this is happening, this is the activity. This is the way it flows. The communication flows in such a way that everything happens in split seconds, within minutes. But we have to be cautious about this flow of communication, right? And what is the meaning of mental health merge? The meaning of merge is given there. You can check. It's not march, it's merge, right? Authenticity is something that sells because people generally check for authenticity, genuinity, sincerity. They don't fall into things without analyzing. At times, yes, as you say, some of you tell me, ma'am, without trying, we'll not even know. And counseling sessions may not necessarily have demo all the time because it is customized, it's personalized, the issues are different, and you may have to pay and enroll in the sessions, or it is not just a course. It is talking to somebody for help. But you always have the choice to continue or not. If you find something is debunking, if you feel that somebody is taking advantage of your personal situation and asking you irrelevant, unnecessary questions, you can always put a full stop because all the professionals are equipped. They may have the professional knowledge, but they may not know how to word it. You know, today, online platforms give you the liberty to discuss the problems, the issues. It can also be a concern openly. So a concern can be something that is not very dangerous. Okay, I'm just giving you one example. It's not that all concerns are not dangerous, but it can be something that is worrying you. And then before it becomes a problem, you can speak about it. There's a butterfly, okay? And then a concern becomes a problem, and problem can also escalate to an issue if you don't look into it, right? So this is one way of using the newspaper. So what is the idea of holding this article and then speaking to you? The first thing is you can select articles that are understandable. This is relatable. Even though it's not shareable, it is relatable. You can read such articles, write down the main points, word it, put it in your own words, because that's what I did just now. I didn't read it twice or thrice, but I think I understood the meaning of the different platforms. Now look at this particular line, and yet something unmistakable is stirring. Hashtags, late night confession pages, and anonymous Discord channels have become rehearsal rooms for a more emotionally literate India. Now, all these things we are seeing. Beyond these bubbles, cost, stigma, and deep silences continue to shape who gets help and who remains unseen. Okay, so you have private chat rooms, you have places where you can speak about your problems, where it is not going to be disclosed. You have Discord rooms, it's a kind of application. Even I was a part of a magazine group, and the editor created Discord rooms where we used to discuss a lot about the magazine, the mental health articles that we really wanted to select, and such kind of things. So it is trying to create an emotionally literate India. So that is the part. Social media is valuable, but it can also create competition. The duality is part of the atmosphere. Guidance is good without jumping into conclusion. If you feel that you're really confused, you don't know how to go about it, you can check YouTube if you want. You can check for assistance. But still, if you feel that there are too many solutions given there, you can particularly connect with somebody who can help you out, or at least give you the path saying you can take that direction, and then there is a kind of zone where you can speak about this. We may not be physically present, but we know what's happening around. So infiltration of unnecessary information also is happening. And today the influx is huge, large. It has gone to such an extent that You may feel the false information is true. The wrong information, the gossip, the negativity, everything seems to be beautiful. That's how people present things today. Have you noticed that? Truth may look very plain, truth may look blurred, it may not be so attractive, but false things, lies, or even negativity can be attractive, but definitely as a human being, you will be able to understand the problem. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're going to do this activity, and happy learning.